of my favorite planets is Jupiter. And a few days ago, I was talking with my mom about how interesting this planet is. And from that conversation came all of this that I will tell you in this video. Hi, I'm Berlyn, and if this is your first time in my channel, don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a video. Yes, you, and you. These are the theories about the origin of the Earth according to science. It is estimated that the formation and evolution of the solar system began about 4.6 billion years ago, with the gravitational collapse of a small part of a giant molecular cloud. Most of the collapsing mass gathered at the center, forming the Sun, while the rest flattened into a protoplanetary disk from which the planets, satellites, asteroids, and other minor bodies in the solar system were formed. Science believed that the planets of the solar system were created by collisions between planets orbiting the Sun. The Moon and the Earth were believed to be the result of a collision between two planets with an iron core. In one hand, it is believed that the Sun and the planets were formed at the same time. And on the other hand, it is believed that the Sun originated first, and from this, the planets originated. But everything the Bible says indicates that this is false. Let's read Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. God created the heavens and the earth. What it means by heaven is the distant sky where the moon and stars appear. But right here in the first day, the stars weren't created yet, nor the moon nor the sky. And how do I know this? Because in the fourth day, God creates the sun, the moon, and the stars. For me, when he says heaven means the negative space. So I'm going to explain what negative space means. So the positive space and the negative space work together to create a balance in the composition. So in my theater classes, they taught me about negative and positive space. They told me that the negative space is everything where my body moved, and the positive space was my body. So the negative space is the area around and between the subject. So in my movement class, we have to do several exercises and movements. So we were moving in the negative space and we were the positive space. So in this case, the positive space for me is the earth, the moon, the star. But right here it says that God created the heaven, which is the negative space, and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. So right here it says that the Spirit of God was hovering over the water. This means that the earth was covered in water. It was just water. How do I know this? Because it says right here, and also because it's gonna say later on. So let's keep reading. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening and there was morning, the first day. So right here it says that God said, "Let there be light." So by light, it doesn't mean the sun. In one of my Spanish videos of the creation, someone asked me, what's the light if the sun wasn't created yet? So the light is Jesus, and we can see that in Revelation 21:22. So if we go to Revelation 21:22, it talks about the New Jerusalem, and it describes this city. And it says, "I did not see a temple in the city, because the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are its temple." So in this city, the New Jerusalem, there's not going to be any temple or religion like how it is now in earth. The temple is God. The city does not need the sun or the moon to shine on it, for the glory of God gives it light, and the lamp, it's its lamp. It says right here that the glory of God gave the city light. So when God said, "Let there be light," it didn't mean that that was the sun. God is the light. Jesus, it's his lamp. And God said, "Let there be a firmament between the waters to separate water from water." So God made the firmament and separated the water under the firmament from the water above it. And it was so. God called the firmament sky. And there was evening and there was morning the second day. This is very interesting right here, because it says that God called the firmament sky, and he separated the water above it from the water below it. So the water below it, it's obviously the ocean, but what's the water above it? This is gonna sound really crazy. So all of this that I'm explaining to you guys, it sounds very logical to me, but this part that I'm gonna explain to you, it's a hypothesis to me. So I'm not sure about this. I'm sure that the earth was created created first than any other planet or star, but I'm not sure about this that I'm about to tell you guys. So my mom told me, because we were talking about this, my mom said that she thinks that the planet Earth was like a bubble full of oxygen that was floating in water. So God created the firmament, and he called the firmament sky, and he separated the waters under the firmament from the waters above it. So you know how astronauts, when they practice before going to space, they practice in a pool and they practice in these tanks. So that's a hypothesis to us because we're not sure about that. We're not saying that that's the truth. So I just wanted to tell you guys this. That was very interesting what my mom said. And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear." So right here is where I tell you guys that I believe that the earth was covered in water. Because right here God says, "Let the waters under the sky be gathered in one place, and make the dry land appear." It doesn't say gather the waters on this side and the land on this side. It doesn't. It says gather the waters to one place and let the dry ground appear. Let it appear because it wasn't there. And it was so. God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters he called sea. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees on the land that bear fruit with seeds in it, according to their various kinds." And it was so. And there was evening and there was morning the third day. Science says that the sun was created first, then the earth. But right here, vegetation was created first, then the sun. So vegetation is older than the sun. The earth is older than the sun. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times and days and years, and let them be lights in the firmament to give light on the earth." And it was so. God made two great lights, the greater light to govern the day and the lesser light to govern the night. He also made the stars. God set them in the firmament to give light on the earth. So right here it says that God created the greater light to govern the day, which is the sun, and the lesser light to govern the night, which is the moon, and the stars on the fourth day. God set them in the firmament to give light on the earth, to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning the fourth day. So right here it says that God set the stars in the firmament. And it also says that the greater light and the lesser light were created to mark days and years. So like we have now the solar calendar and the lunar calendar. And God said, "Let the water teem with living creatures, and let the birds fly above the earth across the firmament." So God created the great creatures of the sea and every living thing with which the water teems and that moves about in it, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the waters in the sea, and let the birds increase on the earth." And there was evening and there was morning the fifth day. So in the fifth day, God created all the animals from the water. So it doesn't say that something was created and that it evolved. It doesn't say that. It says that God created the animals. Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning the sixth day. So in the sixth day, God created all the animals from the land, and including us humans. It doesn't say that we evolved or anything. And in the seventh day, it says that God rested, which is the Sabbath, which is Saturday. So before the conversation that I had with my mom, I wasn't thinking about this. It's like, for example, I don't know if this happened to you guys, but for me when I was little, they tell you about Adam and Eve, right? And then I went to school and I had biology class and they taught me about evolution. And it wasn't until like 3 years later, I was in third grade, and I was like, wait, do we come from an animal or do we come from Adam and Eve? It was until then that I was like, wait. So when I had this conversation with my mom, that same thing happened. So I was like, wait, I just remembered that in Genesis 1 says the stars, the sun, and the moon were created in the fourth day. And then I remember what science says, that the sun was created first. So I went to the Bible Bible and I was reading and I was like, wait, I have to make a video about this. It's so interesting. So this is all for this video. I don't know about you guys, but this sounds very logical to me. I would like for you guys to leave your comments down below and tell me what you think about this. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if this is your first time in my channel, if you go to my channel, you're gonna notice that I have most of my videos in Spanish. I just started doing videos in English, so for you to not get lost, if you go to the playlist section, you're gonna find a playlist, and in that playlist you can find all the videos of God. So I hope you liked this video, and if you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.